is one of our partners. Oh, we're recording. One of our partners now with All Tied Up, which is Take Wings. So we have the founder of Take Wings with us, Terri J. Vaughn. And
guys.
Hi. So Terri J. Vaughn is, in case you haven't been watching TV, she is an award-winning actress, director, executive producer, and a native of San Francisco. So she's from the Bay. She has over 25 years experience in the entertainment industry, which makes her an expert.
Oh,
because it's like it's 10 years or 10,000 hours. You're an expert. Absolutely. She exploded onto the scene with her lovable and super cute, memorable character on the Steve Harvey Show, Lavita Alizé Jenkins, which is one of my favorites. But more than that, she's created tons of work. Like, her body of work is insane. She's been in a bunch of movies. She's producing, she's directing. This woman is like a superwoman, really, when it comes to entertainment. But the partnership with All Tied Up has to do with our love for the community. We have a joint love for our youth. And we are so happy to be in partnership with Take Wings Foundation and Terri J. Vaughn.
Yes.
Terri, though, I don't want to miss this. She has won, and you can correct me, she's been honored with 3 NAACP Image Awards. Is that right?
That is correct.
She said it with authority.
Yes.
She said, yeah, that's about right.
I leaned in.
Yeah, she leaned in.
Correct.
She leaned in.
For I mean.
Yeah, that's about right.
Right. So she started the Take Wings Foundation in 1997, and it was designed to mentor young women who are growing up in the Bay Area. And she's done a fantastic job serving hundreds of young ladies throughout the Bay.
Yes.
Welcome, Terri J. Vaughn. Yay!
Hey, thank you guys, but I cannot take credit by myself. It takes a village, and I have at least 2 beautiful people who are a very important part of the village, and who keeps the spirit and the work of Take Wings Foundation going. One is Rosalind, and I really wish everybody could have their videos on. I do, because I want to see everybody's face. That's the kids, that's Tracy, that's Rosalind, everyone. So that's my request. You guys can do what you want, because I'm not the boss of anyone. But Rosalind is here, who works really hard and been committed and with us since the beginning. And then my sister, Tracy Ward, who is also on here. And between the 2 of them, we've just been able to keep our connections with the girls, which is so important to us. And just making sure that they're continuing to be poured into, to just thrive and just do great in life, and knowing that they have people that believe in them and are behind them. So just had to acknowledge them.
That's
Excellent.
beautiful.
Excellent.
Thank you so much. And we appreciate all of your work in the community.
Yes.
We really do. So next I want to introduce this guy right here, Armand Carr, otherwise known as the voice of the Bay.
So this is going to be good, because she rarely talks about me. So this is my opportunity.
I talk about you all the time. Are you kidding me?
I'm gonna lean back, because you lean forward, Terri. So I'm gonna lean back.
Okay.
And I'm gonna let her, talk about me for a little bit. Go ahead.
Well, considering I did write your bio, but he is regarded as the most recognized voice of the Bay Area. And a lot of you may have heard him on 102.9 KBLX, The Quiet Storm.
Say it again.
102.9 KBLX, The Quiet Storm. Armand Carr, Bay Area based Armand Carr. His career started in LA. Thank you. Oh, they gave you applause, Armand.
Thank you.
His career started early, about 20 or so years ago, in the Los Angeles area with Steve Harvey, Emcee Light, and a host of others. And he recently, in 2016, decided, you know what? I got to take my voice to the streets.
Yeah.
And he decided to found All Tied Up. All Tied Up, which all of you are familiar with. It's an organization that works to bring out the superpower in our young men of color.
Right, right.
You want me to say more, don't you?
No, that's it.
I know
That's
you
it.
do.
You know why? You know why? Because it's not about me tonight. It's
That's
about the kids.
what I was going to say. He's
And
very decorated.
yeah,
The list of accomplishments
it's
just
fun.
goes on and on and on and
I don't
on.
have image awards, so
He doesn't have an NAACP award.
no.
However, he does have his own day in Oakland. Yay!
Okay, basically.
I don't have a day in Oakland.
Okay, well, you know
I
what
want
we're
a
gonna do?
day. I would like a day in San Francisco, actually.
Well, we're gonna call.
I'm born and raised.
We're gonna
At
call
least
London.
at HP, up in Hunters Point. I would love to
Right,
have a
we're gonna
day.
call London. We're gonna call London, and we're gonna make sure that
We're gonna make that
Make
happen.
that happen.
We're gonna make that happen.
But honestly, I love all the accolades and all those things, but it's just a reflection of the work we do for our young folks of color, because that's what's important. And you know, I know our hearts are heavy based on what has just recently happened, and it's hard to keep our spirits, but we're going to do it because we have to do it. We got to push forward because our kids need us. The kids that are on the Zoom right now, I saw Jalen, I saw some other folks, they need us. And they need to see images of them in positions that they are passionate about. And that's what we want to talk about. And, you know, if you want to rap, fine, we're going to get you there. If you want to be an actor, fine, we're going to get you there. We're going to put you in positions. If you want to be a director, if you want to do anything in the entertainment industry, and we have that ability to put you in those positions, we will. But we want to make sure you're prepared first. We want to make sure you're prepared for those opportunities. But we also want to make sure that those opportunities are within your reach. So we reached into our network bag and we said, here are some folks. We see Cynthia. How you doing, Cynthia? And we have some folks that have joined us today, Cameron, and some other folk that are very passionate about what they do. And it's not about the money.
Yeah.
It's not about the money. And we always ask you, what would you do for free? And getting paid is just an added incentive. Well, guess what? We are all here expressing our love for our passion. So let's get started.
All right. Should I introduce the rest of the panelists?
100%.
Okay, so I didn't know. So we've got Cameron Gazaway here, who also happens to be my son, and who I'm super proud of. He was born in the Central Valley, but he's a creative with a big city swag. He's a photographer, a videographer, and cinematographer, and his work producing music videos has garnered millions of views. And his most recent Times Square campaign has been seen by millions. Early in his career, Cameron's work was published in Polaroid's International magazine, which was seen all around the globe. I'm super proud of him. Cameron. Welcome, Cameron.
Yes.
Thank you for that introduction. That was a lot. No, but I'm thankful to be here. I'm grateful for the opportunity to be able to speak to everyone and to be in the presence of so many great people who've done a lot of great things, and to the future generation who's going to be doing even bigger and better things than we are. So thankful for the opportunity. Thank you.
And how old are you, young man?
25.
25.
Yes, sir.
And he's so professional. You guys have taught him well. Look at that mic. It sounds all good. I'm up here using the mic to the iPad. It's just terrible, terrible. He's professional. I am just on the iPad.
I feel like I had to come correct. You know what I mean? I was in the presence of a lot of legendary people, so I had to make sure I came correct.
Well,
you did.
You did, and you're right. Thank you. All right, here we go. We've got Cynthia Roberts joining us, and I want to thank you for joining us at short notice too.
Yes,
short notice, yeah.
Thank you.
So this one's really cool. She's an original cast member of MTV's The Real World Miami.
Yeah.
How cool is that?
Super cool.
Road Rules All Stars, Battle of the Sexes, and most recently MTV's All Star Challenge Season 3, which just debuted like a couple weeks ago. She's an Oakland native, currently working with the Oakland Roots, which is Oakland's very own professional soccer team. And she's director of purpose operations and facilities of stadiums. I said that wrong, I'm sure.
That's
But-
okay. That's
You got
okay.
the nod.
But
the
you
nod.
got it. You know what I'm saying?
You
Yeah.
good.
So,
Welcome, Cynthia.
well, thank you so much. I appreciate you all, inviting me to this wonderful forum and platform. It was really a pleasure meeting you guys just last week on Thursday, I think it was.
Yeah,
Just met.
we just
Yeah,
met.
turn things over fast around here, don't we? You never know who you'll run into, and I just absolutely enjoyed you guys and the program that was put on for the kids at our training facility. So we look very forward. We meaning the Oakland Roots looks forward to doing more things with your with the platform, with that in particular company, and to be able to have them to a couple of Oakland Roots games. I don't know if you guys been watching the news or not for some of the good news that's going on, but we just signed our very first women's professional soccer team that'll be starting next year.
Yeah, Oakland Soul.
Oh, yeah. So it'll give, young ladies a chance to understand that they also have a chance at professional sports here in Oakland. I know we've had a lot of teams that come and go, and, the Oakland Roots and the Oakland Soul now, we're here to stay, and we're hoping that, it's a wonderful collaboration for us, and also to be able to bring in more young people to do more good for Oakland also. So thank you so much for having me on your forum. I appreciate you guys.
Oh, love it. Thank
Love
you
it.
for being
Love it.
here. Thank you so much.
So, we can talk all day about our accomplishments and what we're passionate about. But what we want to do is we want to talk about when it first started for each and every one of you, because that's where it is. That's where the spark, when did the spark start? When did you know your superpower? But let me ask you this. What is your superpower? Terri, go first.
Wow. Okay. My superpower is, I would say being authentically myself, being confident in who I am and how I show up in the room. I wear so many hats, and I'm all of it. I'm a mother, I'm a wife, I love to laugh. I'm a mentor. I'm a director. I'm an actor. I'm a producer. I'm a content creator. I own all of that. I love all of that. I love carrying, just all of that skin on me when I walk into a room. And I love where I'm from. I love, the journey of my life hasn't always been easy, just like everyone else. But I do not look at it as a hindrance. I look at it as it's a part of me. It's a part of me. And if I was to dislike where I came from or dislike any position that I'm in, then I would be disliking some of myself. And I don't. I love who I am. I love that. Like I said, I love to laugh. I love to spread laughter. And I think that's really my superpower, just
Excellent.
loving and owning who I am. And, I wish that for all of you, everyone.
Right, right. That is excellent. And it was a two-part question. At what age can you remember you discovered your superpower? At what age?
Oh my God. Well, all of that kind of superpower, probably within the last 5 years.
Wow.
Okay.
Nice.
To be honest. But it's a journey.
Mhm.
It's a journey, always growing, always learning, always becoming more accepting of who you are and where you are. And not, because we're always taught to keep striving, keep trying to change, keep trying to be better, keep trying to be different. And really just in the last few years, I have settled in, I am good enough as I am. I'm worthy as I am. I don't need to be better or be different. I just need to keep going and keep sharing and keep giving. And everything else falls into place. I'll always be learning. I'll always be growing. I'll always, as long as I'm living and appreciating where I am right now. So yeah, that's the honest answer.
That is.
I love that answer simply because there's so many young people who feel like in their 20s, time is running out. But really, it never runs out.
No.
You're always growing and learning.
Yep. And you
I love
can't
that.
put a time limit on your what you're striving to be for success, because that's just an ongoing thing. Because once you accomplish one thing, then there's something else that you're trying to accomplish. So it's never a getting to a destination. It's just always moving forward. And I think when we're young, we think that, you know, we need this now. I'm so behind. I need to catch up. And it's not. It's like breathe and live in the moment where you are and appreciate where you are and learn and create roots and friendships and where you are. And that will lead to the next step, to the next step, to the next step. So I just feel like we put so much pressure on ourselves, so much unneeded pressure on ourselves.
Right, for sure. And everybody in here, especially the students, put your superpower in the chat. Whatever your superpower is, put that in the chat. We want to see your superpower, okay? So go ahead and put it in the chat. I don't know. It's okay, because we're going to help you figure that out. So, Cameron, what is your superpower?
Well, right now, I mean, if I had to give you an answer off the top of my head, I would say something like as cliche as vision or something like that. You know what I mean? Consider I do everything with a camera, but honestly, I'm at an age where I'm kind of still figuring it out, like figuring out what exactly, like what about me do I bring to like everyone's life, or what do I bring to, you know, even like the art I do. And it's because I have my hands like a lot of different things, and I'm still figuring out, even through my passion, what I like in my passion. You know what I mean? So I would say to any, you know, any kid in here, or anybody just in general who's in to art or entertainment, is you're going to be finding out things that you like to do way down the line, even when you've been doing it for years and years and years. And right now, because I'm dealing with being in that mid-20 space, and also trying to, you know, live out my dream, it's kind of hard to pinpoint exactly what my superpower is. So I'm in the process of figuring it out. But if I had to give you an answer, I would say vision. But I feel like in 5 years from now, my answer would probably be a lot different.
You'll add to it.
Yeah, you'll add to it.
You'll add to it.
Because we grow,
Yeah,
you
we
know,
do.
we mature.
Yeah, we do. We do. All right, Cynthia. Oh, I'm sorry. When did you discover your vision, Cameron?
When?
Yeah, what age?
I was probably the day I realized I wanted to do film. Like my major goal is to be a film director. So like the day I realized I want to be a film director is when I went to see Django Unchained in the theater. When I was probably in high school, I think, when it came out. And I remember seeing it, and I was already a Tarantino fan, but that was something where I was like, wow, you can make a movie look like this. You can, you know, write dialogue that's this, you know, like this in depth. And that was the day I realized like I wanted to make movies. And from there, I just, you know, just stayed on track with it. And then, you know, my parents got me a camera my senior year in high school, and then it just went from there.
Excellent. Excellent. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. All right, Cynthia. It's your turn.
You know, just a quick message to those of us on the call that are in their 20s. As long as you go on in life, you're going to change so much. I've been so many different Cynthias. It's not even funny. I've had the unfortunate opportunity to watch myself grow up from the time I was 22 years old, and I'll be 49 years old this year. And I'm telling you, watching yourself on television, and Terri, you know, you're an actor. So you act like something. To watch yourself be yourself, that is something completely different, because I'm not an actress or anything like that. And to hear myself say the things that I have said, or to like, why would I say that? It's like watching Cynthia's little sister, and I want to kick her under the table every time she opens her mouth. So regarding what is my superpower is being comfortable with where I'm at right now. And that would be from the time that, you know, I realized that I have a personality that people just like to be around. and like to listen to. And, you know, I have a point of view. I have an opinion about everything, like a lot of people do, you know. I don't know how to be anything except for myself, my complete authentic self. And basically, as I go on in life, I just count my blessings every time, because sometimes I still don't have a plan. I just go with it, you know. Sometimes you need to trust your gut and to be all right with making mistakes, because mistakes is what builds character. Character is going to carry you a lot further in life than, you know, just, you know, you can stumble around in life all you want, because no one knows how long you're going to be here, but you just make the best of it wherever you are, wherever you're at, and just be the best person that you could possibly be at that in particular time that you know how to, you know. When did I figure out I had a superpower? Oh, I don't know. I would say when I was, you know, I'm one of 7 kids. So I think I've always been the most outspoken, the most adventurous. My mother always calls me the bright and shining light of all the kids. I mean, she loves us all equally. She loves to she makes sure she says that, because she doesn't want anyone to feel like one is better than the other. It's just that I've always been the one that was okay with taking a risk, that was okay with doing something that, you know, a family from Oakland, East Oakland, deep East Oakland would never even fathom to do, just to take a risk to see how you come out on the other end, because that's pretty much what it's all about at the end of the day. Take a risk, do the best you can, give it all you got, and just move forward from there. Learn from your mistakes, because we're going to continue to make mistakes. I make mistakes every single day. And it really is about being comfortable with knowing that you're not perfect, and that as long as you keep going forward, you're never a failure, because it's always another challenge, always another challenge, always something else it's always stuff to be done. So, you know, to the young folks, don't feel pressured about trying to figure out who you are, because you don't know who the hell you are right now. You're going to continue to grow and to learn, and that's what's going to build you into what it's actually going to be at the end of the day. So
right. Love it, love it, love it. Thank you very, very much for sharing that. So inspirational. And I have to say this, you're right. And this is my motto for the entire year. Every problem presents opportunity.
It does.
You should be excited for the problems.
Well,
No, seriously.
I mean, it's great to look at it that way. It
well,
takes time.
Yeah, as long as you're alive, there's going to be that. So you may as well buckle up.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you, Cynthia.
Thank you very much, Cynthia. So we have somebody very special on as well. She's actually an alumni of Ames from the teacher side. Okay, she was once a teacher, and you know what? Her passion is funny, because I met this young lady when I was at KBLX, and let me tell you something. Her tenacity. I don't know if it comes from basketball, because she plays ball as well, but her tenacity is amazing. It's so positive, and she just doesn't stop. She doesn't stop. When I first met her, she, you know, was like, "Hey, you know, Mr. Armand, you know, I want to be in promotions at KBLX." And I looked at her. I said, "You sure that's what you want to do? Because why do you want to be in promotions?" "Well, you know, I want to network. I said, "But no. You need to do something else. You need to follow your passion." Because I knew she was a great photographer, based on the person who was her mentor, Jennifer Marvin,
Okay.
who's one of the premier photographers here in the Bay Area, along with Cam, the cameraman. And, you know, Charnise, I said to her, I said, "No, you don't want to do this. You follow your passion." And I believe the superintendent here for Ames told her the same thing, because she was a teacher for Ames. And they all knew when we mentioned Charnise was going to be on, they all said,
of course she would.
Of course.
Right.
Because her accomplishments, I'm going to tell you this. She's the CEO and founder of Love Jones Productions. She has worked with many, many leading companies in the industry, from Rihanna, MTV Awards, the San Francisco 49ers, Netflix. And I'm going to tell you something. I'm proud of her, because now she works for Byron Allen. And if you don't know who this brother is. I
know. I was so excited for her. He has
changed the face, Terri, you know, and Cynthia, you know as well. He has done so much for our culture as Black folk when it comes to the media space. And she is now one of his producers and directors. And I'm so proud of her. I'm getting a little chills.
I get chills too.
And I don't know if you remember, Charnise, when you came to the radio station, we had a workshop at the radio station, Take Wings workshop. She was the young lady who took the pictures when you guys came to KBLX at the round table. And Charnise, she's grown so much. She worked with Rich Paul. She worked on Rich Paul's documentary. I'm like, this girl is out here doing it.
Yeah, she
And
is.
you know what? Full circle, because now she's back at Ames. Charnise, say hi to everybody.
Hello, everyone. Hi.
You sound all shy and stuff.
So honestly, that introduction was amazing, and I was just like, I don't know who he's talking about, but she sounds pretty cool. Look, I still get taken, back by that. Like, oh, I'm 29 and I've accomplished like so much. I don't feel I've accomplished anything. And being a teacher at Ames, that was one of like the best jobs that I've had, being around children, seeing myself and being able to like pour into them like what I would want or what I would have wanted, someone to pour into me at their age. I guess what was the question? I'm so sorry. Your intro was just like mind blowing.
No, it's okay. It's okay. Your resume is the same way. Overwhelmed. So the question is, what is your superpower?
Ooh, right now, my superpower in this season of my life is just showing up for myself.
Oh, wow. Love it.
Love it.
I'm learning that. I'm super spiritual, grew up in church. And like, it seems like when you're on that cusp of 30, you're like, oh, I gotta have my career. I have to, make this money, trying to keep up with the Joneses. And you're like, life is moving and I don't feel like I'm accomplishing anything. And you like miss the journey. So I'm learning to show up for myself, even if that's just waking up, talking to myself in the morning, saying, you got this, and making it through the day and knowing like we accomplished something today. Like you did. And so that allows me to slow my mental down, the outside noise of our culture of like what millennials are supposed to be accomplishing, me not being a high-tech millionaire, 29. So it allows me just to slow down and just show up, and it makes life a little easier.
Yes.
That's my superpower. And when I noticed from the beginning, they always say like if you look back into your childhood, if you pay attention to like what you did as a kid, what you're doing now, you did it as a child. So entertaining people, I'm an extrovert. I love people. I love talking. That's how we met. So I most definitely would say entertaining people as a kid.
Yes.
And so that's how I got to where I am now.
Excellent. We're so proud of you. And everyone that's on here, we're proud of you because there's a lot of obstacles out there. And those obstacles are there for a reason. So you can slow down and look at the whole map instead of looking at that one thing. Look at the whole thing.
But I have to say something, Armand, because I think that a lot of us who have done well in life or who have achieved certain things, there was that one person that entered our lives that said, you know what, I think you should go left instead of right.
Yes. So you want to ask who that person was in their lives?
Yeah, I would love to know.
That's a great question. So Terri, can we start with you? Who was that one person in your life that said, you know what, I think you should go this way?
Well, I'll say this. I'll say it was definitely a person. His name is Paul Roach, but it wasn't necessarily him telling me you should do this. It was a sequence of events, right? So I was going to Cal State Hayward, growing up in HP, all I knew I wanted to do, I wanted to be successful, but I had no idea what I wanted to do as a career in my life. I just wanted to be a successful businesswoman. So when I went to Cal State Hayward, I majored in business. Then I changed my major to liberal arts. And along that journey, there was a friend at Cal State Hayward that was recruiting girls for a Miss Black California pageant. And I had never done a pageant. Never thought of myself of having a talent or any of that kind of stuff. But being young, taking advantage of opportunity, something just came up. We were like, me and some of my friends, we were like, yeah, let's do it. We'll do a pageant. What do you do? And so we entered Miss Black California pageant. And just so happened, one of the judges of the pageant was a producer of a play. So maybe it's Mark Wilder. Mark Wilder was the producer. He was one of the judges of this pageant. And when the pageant was over, he asked me if I would be interested in auditioning for a stage play that he was producing that was going to tour the country. And I was like, audition, a stage play? I had never done any of that or even thought about any of that. But again, being young, being fearless, taking advantage of opportunities, sure, I'll come audition for your play, having no idea what I'm doing. So he gave me the address to the Black Repertory Theater in Berkeley.
Wow.
And gave me the time, come here. This is when auditions are happening, bring a picture and a resume. I was like, cool, got it, be there. And not knowing what I'm doing, never acted a day in my life. Well, I acted in a church play, a church Easter play before. But so I show up at this theater and there's actors there, right? And they're like theater actors, they're stretching, they're moaning, they're doing all these things. And I'm like, okay, it's just weird people here, whatever, I'll just wait for my turn. And that director comes out, he calls my name, I go in the room, and they gave me some material to read. And I read the material for the director and for the playwright who was in the room. And the director, Paul Roach, he gave me some notes. He was like, yeah, this girl is really sassy, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, okay, I can read it sassy. I can do that. So I read it again, read her sassy. I grew up in HP. Sassy, I'm sassy. So I just did it again, did it sassy. And that night they called me and offered me a part in this play. And so now I left Cal State Hayward. I was like, yes, I'm coming to tour the country to do a play. I was like, I'm gonna go do that. So, I'm like traveling with these people that I don't know. But Paul Roach was an amazing director. He was a thespian. He studied at ACT in San Francisco, and he was like really into theater and arts. And he started teaching us the craft of acting and introducing us to like the theater greats, like the Uta Hagen and Stanislavski. And so now I'm studying all these people and I'm falling in love more and more with this craft. And that changed my life. That was not my idea. That was not something I sought out. That was not even anything in my realm of thinking. But, and I think the main part of it was the teaching from Paul. It wasn't even just the opportunity to go act, because he could have just been like, get up on stage, be sassy, and I could just do that. But it was him taking us under his wing and teaching us about this craft, this art form that changed my life. Because that's when it ticked for me. I was like, this is what I love. This is what I want to do. This is what I want to spend all my time learning. Like, I'll read anything on this. The books in school were boring to me. I was just doing that because I had to. But I just loved it. And that changed my life. That was the moment. So I would say Paul Roach.
Now, is he still with us?
The last I heard, he was.
Okay.
He was still in San Francisco. I am in contact with his brother, David Roach. Do you guys know David Roach?
Yes.
Sounds familiar.
Yes.
Yeah, he runs the Oakland Film Festival.
Yes.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So Paul Roach is his older brother. So
Okay.
I check in with Paul because he's had some health issues and life issues. I check in on him through David. And the last time I checked in with him, he was still, doing his thing and in the Bay.
All right, that sounds good.
Does
So,
he know he played that role in your life?
Oh,
Does he know?
yes, yes.
Okay.
I've told him several times. I told his brother, every interview I ever do, I always, when people always ask how I got my start, Paul Roach, Paul Roach, Paul Roach. He knows.
That's
He-
that's
beautiful.
beautiful.
Yeah.
All right, cameraman. Who's that one person?
Wow, one person.
Is it you?
I think that's why it's so difficult. I can definitely say that like my I wouldn't even call it success, but where I've been at in my life when it comes to my career in film and photography has been impacted by so many people from when I was like much younger to now that it's hard to pinpoint like one person. You know what I mean? From my mom, I call my mom my mentor. Armand is one of my mentors. Um, I had people who had helped me get into photography and video, which is like I'll call my big brother, my big bro Castle. Um, Rest in peace to my cousin Mook. He's probably like one of my biggest influences in my life. Um, to the artists I worked with, I used to work with an artist named Don Quiz, and he was the first artist that ever let me do a music video for him. You know, me just hit me in the DM and said, "Let's do a music video," and I'm like, "Okay, I don't know what I'm doing, but cool." And it just made it work, and we did a bunch of great things since then. You know, so it's hard to pinpoint one person. It's really a community effort, and everyone has helped me in some way. Specifically because I never had a mentor when it comes to like video and photo stuff. If it was one person when it came to that, it'd be YouTube. But 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 I had so many people help me with the business part and the life part of everything that I contributed to really everyone who has just played like a vital role in my life. It's hard to just pick one person.
Right, excellent,
Thank
excellent.
you.
That's a great answer. Cynthia, you're up.
This sounds awfully cliche, but I think what made me go left and right was God. And I say this because my family had no idea what I was doing as far as where I wanted to go, who I wanted to be, this risk that I was willing to take. I'm from Oakland once again. And I'm like, I come home and I'm like, hey, I just got on this television show, right? They don't understand what I'm talking about. All my mother said was, you just need to stay here. Don't do that, because she just wanted everyone close by, not for me to not be able to follow my dream, but I had to take a risk. And I didn't necessarily have that type of support from my family, only because they didn't understand it. And I didn't understand it enough to be able to explain it to them properly. All I knew is that I didn't need their permission. It was a once in a lifetime opportunity. I didn't want to miss the opportunity, and who knows what could happen. So mama, I'm gonna need you to pray for me as I go on this journey.
Right.
And I'm just gonna go, I'm doing this. So none of my brothers and sisters and my mother understood that. They never were against it. They just did not understand it. And they just said, okay, we're just gonna pray for you. And so, I mean, it's really like walking out on faith for me, because I didn't watch the shows before. I didn't understand how huge it could get. I didn't understand, they told me what I would be doing, but I knew that I just needed to go and be myself. But I didn't really understand all of the other things that I needed to be responsible for. You move into this in particular environment, and you all of a sudden feel like you got the weight of all the Black people in the world on your shoulders, because you're the only Black person in the house. You know what I mean? So I'm 22 years old. I have this huge responsibility. All I know is I'm supposed to be myself, and my family don't really understand what's going on, but all they're saying is, Sim, we're going to pray for you.
Right,
So I just had to just go with that and just hope for the best. So I would just say that it was God that made me go left and right, because I could have stayed at home. I was working at Applebee's and I was just finding my own little life. I mean, who knows what would have happened? Maybe I would have never had my son. Maybe I wouldn't have this wonderful career at the Oakland Roots. Maybe, if I had went left instead of right, who knows? But I took the risk. I walked out on faith, and here I am today. you know, so I would go with that.
So how do you suggest students approach their parents if their
Yes.
parents don't understand what it is they like? They don't get it. They don't understand their passion.
Can
Do
I
you
say
have
something
any
really fast
suggestions?
for Cynthia?
Yeah.
Even though she said that her family didn't really support her, but they prayed for her. They supported you.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
Didn't understand what you were
100%.
doing,
Yes.
but they didn't talk you out of it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's what I think that parents should watch, because they're only operating from their
Lens.
lens of life.
Yes.
Yep.
And this is your life.
Yep.
God has something for each and every single person, including
Absolutely.
our kids that have nothing to do with me.
Yep.
Just like your life had nothing to do with your parents or your family's life. But the fact that they said, we don't understand this, but we just gonna pray for you.
Yeah.
That was the support you
That was
needed.
the support.
It allowed you to go and walk on faith.
Yep.
Yes.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Absolutely right.
Yeah. And that's the beauty of it, looking at it that way, because a lot of parents, unfortunately, they want their kids to follow in their footsteps,
Mhm.
and they want their kids to be, it's a family of doctors. Okay, so you have to be a doctor. It's a family of lawyers. You have to be a lawyer. It's a family of IT specialists. You got to do this, nurses, so forth and so on. But the child, or even sports,
Mhm.
even there's a lot of athletes who really don't want to be athletes. They want to be in entertainment. We see it all the time. Athletes rapping and singing and acting and things like that. And that's what they really want to do.
Mhm.
And how
Yeah. How do you approach your parents?
and saying, hey, I don't want to do this. This is
Mhm.
what I want to do.
Well, I can attest to something like that. I have a 19-year-old that'll be
Uh-huh.
20 next month. And I'm telling you, I have raised that boy, that young man now, to go to college. You got one job, son. All you have to do is make the grades. I will take care of everything else. You got one job, just focus on school, focus on school. I got him all the way through. And then he breaks my heart and tells me he doesn't want to go to college.
Mhm.
And I'm like, what just happened? And that was heartbreaking for me, because as far as I was concerned, we were working on a plan. And the plan was for him to go to college. And so, he's 19. And so, of course, you guys know how, if you know how young people are, there are probably some 19-year-olds on the call. They have their own idea of what their vision of themselves is. And they see now that you don't necessarily need to go to college in order to be successful. They have this thing called the internet now. They have these type of careers called influencers and all of these, to me, made up careers that is making hundreds and thousands and millions of dollars.
Yes.
So it's hard to combat that when he's right. So it took me some time to be able to understand that and to accept it, because at that point, I didn't know what to do. I was like, well, okay, well, I hope you can make it work, son. I hope you have some kind of plan, because this was
Right.
not what we talked about. But now you're at an age, you're 18 now, and the world says you're grown, but I still see you as a child.
Mhm.
You wanna do that? I said, the best thing about college is there's no age limit. If it doesn't work out for you, you can always go to college. School is very easy for this young man.
Yep. Steph
He
Curry
always
will
change his
graduate.
mind. Yeah, you see what I'm saying? So you can always change your mind. You just keep moving forward, whatever that is. I mean, yeah, it hurt my feelings at first, because I'm like, I did all of this work for you to turn around and tell me at the 12th hour that you don't want to go to college. I couldn't understand that, because he was so smart, so prepared. He scored so high and this and that. And then all of a sudden he comes out and he says, this isn't what he wants to do. And he wants to do X, Y, and Z.
What does he want to do? And
Who
finally,
knows? He don't want to go to college. He wants to find himself. I said, you got money to find yourself?
We'll let him find
It costs money to find yourself, son.
Pray for him.
Just
I'm gonna pray for him. That's right.
all right, Charnise, you're up next.
Charnise.
Charnise, you're up next.
So I guess my listening to everybody, it's like, our kind of the way we got to where we like wanted to be was similar. Like Cam said, it wasn't just like one person.
Uh-huh.
Like every person that I met was that person in that season for me to propel me forward to where I needed to be to meet the next person. But I can say the person who left footprints for me to get me started was my grandfather. He used to have a camera, and I remember when we were kids, he used to take pictures, for Christmas, and you don't see grandpa in the photo, but he was behind taking photos. I was like, well, what my nephews, who's going to be that person in the family? I'm like, well, I will. And so the next person that helped me was my aunt, and she bought me my camera. She believed in me, and I was like, hey, I need this software. I don't know how to work it, but I need it. And she was like, I trust that you are going to do good. And this is for Cynthia, this is for you. As parents, the one thing that I can say is that you guys have to trust what you instilled in us. And that's something I had to tell my aunt and those that are, like parent figures in my life, like trust what you instilled in me. So when I say I have to find myself, know that what you put in me from like young and me watching you, I can only produce greatness because I came from you,
Yes.
And so that's what made me push forward. So like the hustle of my mom and like the prayers of my grandma, it's like, okay, when I come up against something, I know how to pray because I'm equipped with that. If I need a hustle and still, get a side job, but still pursue my love, I can do that because I saw my mom do it, And so getting into it, I went to college. I went to a private Christian school. I wanted to go to a HBCU. I wanted to live it up. And God had different plans and was just like, yeah, no, you're going to go to this Christian school because I have something different. And I didn't take I took one film class my senior year. And that was the pivoting moment. I was like, I want to tell people stories. I want to do that. And I was like, it's too late. I can't go back and take any classes. So what's the next best thing? Girl, the internet, find whoever, find the promoter, reach out to them, use your elevator pitch. And that's what I did. And that's how I got into it. And the first gig was Love Jones. I love that movie. And I was like, his name is Jones. I love love. Why not? And from there, I learned how in the industry, it's not like what you know to a certain extent to get in, but it's like who you know. So I taught myself how to network. And from there, I bet on myself. I flew to New York after college. My mom was like, are you sure? And I'm like, was working in retail, but I'm like, I had to bet on myself.
Yes.
And she let me bet on myself. I went to New York, made connections, MTV, Rihanna, got a nomination, didn't even know what that was, but I'm like, I guess it's cool. There, meeting people pushed me forward. And even to this day, like, I want to say like a week ago, I applied for this job and I was like, I want to be a producer. I put that on my Instagram. I manifested. I'm like, I'm a producer. I got my camera. I'm a producer. And I got a call back and they was like, well, we want you to work for us. I'm like, bet. I'm betting on myself. And then I flew, took my stuff and I moved to LA. So it's like, I'm still betting on myself and knowing that the support from my family and what I know is going to push me forward. So you just have to bet on yourself, and each person you meet is in your lane for a reason. So that's
carpool. To carpool.
It's definitely just getting your vehicle, just getting you to your next destination.
Yeah, that's awesome. Betting on yourself. Can you kind of explain that a little bit more in depth? Betting on yourself. What is that? What does that mean?
So to me is I have to do it because nobody else would do it for me. I had a vision for myself and I couldn't turn to, mom or grandma because their bread and butter, it was like what they knew growing up, that 9 to 5 working in tech security. For me, something in me was just like, you can work a 9 to 5, but something was like, there's more for you out there. So I had to bet on myself. It's like, whether I fall on my face, at least I know I tried it. And mom and grandma are in the back as my safety net, so I can go back. But if I don't leave my comfort zone, then I'll never know. So I had to bet on myself. It was just like, if I don't bet on myself, I'm doing a disservice. Because I could have been like back in the Bay right now. Man, this job. It's scary. but it's a good scary.
It's a
Mhm.
good
Yeah,
scary.
that's that good
It's a
one.
That's that
scary.
good one. Ooh, what's about to happen? I'm scared.
And then now I have these group of people around me pushing me, and I'm like, God, why are they don't even know me, but they want to see me succeed. And it's in my plan for my life to be around these people right now to push me. And
Wow.
so it's like, all right, they see me betting on myself, so we're gonna invest in you.
Yes.
Yes, yes, that is awesome.
I love that. I love that. It also means that you have to have a certain measure of self-confidence.
Yep.
How do you, let's talk about self-confidence. You know, I talk to a lot of young ladies who struggle with self-confidence. Do you have any tips, pointers, things you can share with them to build their self-confidence, Charnise?
I would say words of affirmation.
Okay.
What I do, I take a expo marker in my mirror. I write down, I look at myself thoroughly and write down what I love about what I see. And I start from there. And then I just bounce what I see back to me. And don't look so much on the exterior. And I know it's really hard because with social media, but really look at what you bring to people when you're around those that are laughing. Like you bring
Mhm.
people. And it's hard now, but try to stay off of Instagram because everything that shines really isn't gold and it's not real. And it's hard to differentiate. But most definitely speaking, how you speak to yourself matters. It starts at
Yes.
home.
Yes.
And that's what has worked for me. And this morning I just did that. And
All
I'm
right.
Oh,
we're doing it. I'm in meetings with people and in an arena I'm not even comfortable in yet. But I'm like, God, I have to be here because you created a seat. So there's a
oh,
reason why.
Wow.
I
So
love that.
yeah.
I
Wow.
love that. Can we ask you, Terri, the same question?
First of all, I'm in love with Charnise.
Right.
We did this on purpose.
Right?
So the thing is, listening to what she said, when you show up for yourself, other people show up for you.
Yes.
You
Yes.
have to show up for yourself.
Yes.
And just speaking to the kids and when they have their dreams and passions of what they want to pursue and trying to getting your parents to sign off and be on board, it's like parents have to trust, just like Cynthia was saying, you have to trust what you've poured into your kids. You did your job, trust that they are instinctually equipped
Yep.
Right.
to take
Yes.
this journey. You
Yes.
gotta allow them to dream, to live, because if you stifle them, they have small lives. Who wants to live small lives? None of us do. None of us should. So I'm all about living the big life, taking the chances, trusting those instincts, even when it's scary. Know that you're equipped. Know if you're in the room, God put you in the room. You're supposed to be in the room. Even when it's scary. I had this conversation just last week with a mentor of mine that I was so nervous about being in the room, but I know and I remind myself, you're in the room because you're supposed to be in the room. So you have to use your voice. You have to use your voice when you're in those rooms, to not waste the moment. So, I do the same thing. I talk to myself. It's about the way that I speak to myself. We're always going to have fears. We're always going to have doubts. Those things never go away. I'll tell you, I'm 52 years old. That never goes away.
Wow.
It's a conversation I have to have with myself during those moments. It's okay that you're fearful. That's fine. That's cool. But what you're going to do is you're going to go in there and you're going to use your voice and you're going to shine your light and you're going to give them some love because that's what people need. They need your energy. They need your love. They need to laugh. They need to be awakened to seeing a Black woman speaking this way. Whatever it is, they need me in the room. So I'm going to give them what they need. And that's what I have to constantly remind myself. And that goes for all of us, each and every one of us. If you're 10, if you're 15, if you're 18, if you're 50, when you're in the room and you're in the place, you're in there at that moment because you're supposed to be there. Somebody needs to hear from you.
Oh,
Somebody
Right.
needs a hug from
That's
you.
awesome. That's
Somebody
awesome.
needs that voice.
That's awesome.
So it's the same thing, just talking and reminding myself. And I read
Yeah.
a lot of books
Yeah.
and listen to a lot of, inspiring words. It helps.
that's
Yeah.
beautiful.
Can I add one thing?
Yes.
With the younger kids working with Ames kids, one thing I've learned, it's hard to articulate what they want to their parents because they
Yeah.
need that respect level.
Yes.
But one thing I taught my students is like, if you can't verbally say it, write it down because your parents are better to receive what you write down when you're not in the room, and really explain to them. And as parents, sometimes parents are set in their ways.
Yeah.
Just be open to receive your child because at the end of the day, we think about you when we make it. We think about how we can pay you back. You're the first people on our mind when we get
Yes.
here. We bring mom and dad up here. So
Mhm.
always know that we have you in the back of our mind and we don't want to fail you or make you sad. So be open to us when we come to you with this because we're afraid and that we don't need the world against us and our parents. So
Oh,
be
Yes. Oh,
yeah.
yes.
Yes. Because the entertainment industry, any industry that you're passionate about, it's tough. And when you're going against the grain, when you're going against what your parents want you to do,
Mhm.
it's tough. And that's why the communication is so important. But you have to be honest as well, okay? Because you don't want to get to a point like Cynthia. Cynthia, this is almost like a intervention for you. This workshop.
It is.
But your parents don't want to be caught off guard at the 11th hour.
Mhm.
So it's your responsibility to let them know early what your passion is.
Yeah. I like the
They
idea
might
of
not
writing it
know,
down.
Armand. They might not
Mhm.
know
They
until the
don't.
11th
They're gonna
hour.
change and change and change.
Things change all the time.
But I
Yeah.
think the parents have to know that how they started is their children have to go through the exact same thing. And parents, and I guarantee parents, when we get older, and I'm learning this now, I look back at my mom like she's growing and I'm growing at the same time.
Mm.
So now it's like I can see where she was scared. So now I'm not getting on my parent anymore. Now I'm like I'm speaking to her and we're creating this new relationship. We're not it's not kid anymore. It's I need you. And so I think parents as kids we have to give our parents grace and we learn that as time goes on and we learn it when we get out of high school. We learn it and then it makes it a little easier on us.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Mm.
like that. Are there any programs that you guys would suggest to our youth who might be interested in getting into any facet of entertainment? There's so many areas you can go into in entertainment.
What about acting? Where do you
How
start
do you start? What
with
do
the
you,
acting piece?
yeah.
I think the internet is it's everywhere. No, there's no excuse for anything now. Anything that
Yeah.
you want to do, you can find out information on. You can take acting classes via the internet now. You can, there's tons of books, which is what I love. I love to study the craft. So I'm an advocate of studying the craft. There are, like I said, books and plays you can read. There's tons of theaters in the Bay Area. Get involved in a theater, go sign up. They have open auditions at times at theaters. They have classes at theaters there. I'm not even sure if the Black Repertory Theater is still
I
active.
think it's still active.
It's definitely active.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So shoot, that's where I did my first play. Start, do something. You don't just say, I want to do, I wish I could. You can do, you really can do.
Yes.
And the information is there. It's there for you.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Excellent. Cam, you're in a different field of entertainment, and you said earlier that YouTube helped you out a lot, and that seems to be the popular source with a lot of kids. how did you go about searching? Like you said, okay, this is what I want to do. Walk us through that process for you.
Yeah, so what I notice now is a lot more kids learn the craft from YouTube, because you can kind of figure out what you're trying to get uh from just watching different people. You know what I mean? So when I started searching stuff up, I started with, when I have my camera, like how to get my, shot to look like super focused, which is like just turning down the f-stop, you know what I mean? Or like, how do I get it to go like this? How do I swivel? Or, what I mean? You just look for different things that you're trying to do, because you watch movies, you watch TV, or you watch music videos, you're like, wow, I like that shot, or wow, like I love the way that they did this. How did they do that? I even typed in like tutorials on like certain things, effects that they use in certain music videos that I like. And I just kept going from there, just stacking up. But honestly, the best teacher is experience. The best teacher is grabbing a camera or grabbing your phone, which most kids have now.
Yeah.
Grabbing that and just going outside with some friends and like trying stuff out. You know what I mean? Like that's the best teacher, because you can watch tutorials all day, but there are so many things that you're going to run into in the field that you can't really teach yourself on YouTube. You know what I mean? And one of those things is communicating with different people, being a team player, knowing, especially being a director, and knowing how to delegate tasks to people, and knowing like when to talk to everyone, when to be that megaphone, and when to listen to your actors, when to listen to the talent that you're working with, to your crew, because even though you may be running the ship as a director or the camera person, you don't know everything. You know what I mean? So, and all that is going outside. I learned that from doing skits with my friends, in the front yard, and and doing all that stuff, like learning how to talk to my friends, because they don't want to be out there doing like 30 takes, what I mean, just to go get some ices later, what I mean? They're trying to, do this one take and be gone. So you got to be able to communicate with people and everything. And so the best thing to do is just to grab whatever you can. Don't worry about if it's not the most high definition thing, or if it's not like the best, looking camera in the world, or just grab something that you can record with, and just get people that you can be patient with and that have passion like you do, and try stuff out. And that's the best way to learn, and to get started. You know what I mean? As someone who never, went to film school, or never even taken like a film class, I learned everything from theater. I did theater growing up. So that's, the most class I got out of this. And so I just let experience be the teacher, you know what I mean? And YouTube just helped me, continue to build on top of that.
Yeah. Cynthia, what resources
Thank you,
thanks, Cam. What resources did you utilize when you first started?
I don't think that really applies to me, because I fell into it. I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know that was what I wanted to do. KMEL was simply, doing an open call on the radio, and I showed up. So I wasn't blessed with the opportunity, like a lot of others on this call, to know that they wanted to be in the entertainment industry. I fell into it by happenstance. I mean, sincerely, I'm really taking notes in my mind. How do I become an actress if I want to? How do I become a director if I want to? From the folks here on this call. There's a saying that says, if you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room.
That's right.
I feel like I'm in the right room right now.
Yes.
All of these different resources that's coming at me that I didn't know this was going to happen today. I didn't know what type of call this would exactly be, so I'm taking notes for my own self, and perhaps I can pass the information on to my own son, who's finding himself. Maybe we can find ourselves together, son. Come on, let's do it together.
That's right.
You killing me. I know how my mama feels now. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So
Yes.
I would be lying if I said, oh, you need to do this and that. I'm listening very intently to the professionals on this call on how to do it, because I don't know how to do it. I was blessed with a very rare opportunity, and I took it. That's all I got. But in order to move forward and to move further along in my career, wherever it may lead me, I'm listening to those on this call to take from them on what I can do to better my life even more, and to be able to pass it down to those who are looking to me to ask me that question next time. I'll know what to tell them next time.
Right, right.
Well, it sounds like you guys all share a certain trait, and that is going for it, because you all of you have gone for it. Even if you fell into it, you still had to go to the call.
Right.
Right. And you just, when they say be yourself, how hard is that?
Right.
I'm
Very
betting on
hard,
myself, right, Charnise?
Yeah.
I'm betting on myself.
Yeah. So before we continue, we got to get to Jayhawk.
We have to get to Jayhawk.
Jayhawk, he couldn't be with us, but he has a wonderful video he sent to us, because Jayhawk, let me tell you something. Jayhawk is
He's super talented. He's a
talented.
guitarist, and he just finished. What?
I thought I was in trouble.
No, you thought you were in trouble. He just finished touring with Billie Eilish,
Duckworth, and now
he's about to go tour with Justin Bieber.
Yes.
So he was supposed to be on our call, but he's actually traveling right now.
And he's also the son of somebody I went to high school with, my friend David Hawkins.
Oh my goodness, we know his parents.
It's a small world.
Very small world.
I talk to David all the time, so he tells me about
We
him.
were just together. We were just with David and Dwayne Wiggins.
So funny. That's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So, without further ado.
he was kind enough to do a video for us. So if we could just watch.
What's going on, everybody? My name is Jayhawk. I am the music director and guitarist for some of your favorite artists. Luckily, I've been blessed with the opportunity to work with artists like Erykah Badu, Tony, Blast, Duckworth, Saba, just to name a few. My role as a music director is basically taking all of the magic that is put in the records and translating it to the live stage. Anything from TV, tours, music videos, all music related stuff I'm working on. Basically, I gotta find the personality, and I would say personality as a person, but also personality in the music. Your playing style has an effect on how the show's going to be. I wouldn't put anybody that plays for Blast on a Jill Scott gig. I would put somebody that plays for Erykah on a Jill Scott gig, because you just feel like the overall vibe is synonymous. So it's kind of just the same. I've been a musical director it's been 5 years now. So I started working with Duckworth when it was just me, bass, and a DJ. And then later on, situations happened and I was able to just put in all of my guys into the equation. And that's just kind of how it just happened from there. And then based off of my reputation with working with Duckworth, I was able to get following gigs working with Saba, working with Blast and stuff like that later on down the line based off of my reputation with Duckworth. Somebody that definitely inspired me growing up was my mom. My mom's an artist herself. She sings country music. And so kind of just growing up around her, just being on road and just traveling with her, seeing how the business was, definitely inspired me and kind of pushed me to pick up an instrument and kind of get to learning. And my dad saw me play Guitar Hero and just he was like, "You like that game?" I was like, "Yes, I really like it. I'm a big time gamer as well as I like to play music." So it kind of went hand in hand. And my dad got me the game and then got me a guitar and was like, "Okay, now learn this." It kind of went hand in hand. And at that point, my parents put me into art school and then graduated, and then later on got a full scholarship for arts college, and then after that moved to LA. And so it kind of just was progression of steps. And so I would say my biggest inspiration is for sure my mom. I feel like a challenge that I had that I wish that I would have picked up early on would be to adapt. Of course I play guitar and I'm a music director, but there's a lot more things that other people are doing. You have somebody that's a keyboard player, but also a bass player, but also a guitar player. But they're all adapting. And I wish I could have picked it up early on where I could have all those other skill sets underneath my belt. Sometimes is a little more of the logistical work of this business. kind of like being like a businessman and just like talking about your rates and talking about contracts and talking about like, you know, all the little logistical work that kind of not necessarily is the fun thing to do, but what has to be done, like dealing with managers and dealing with contracts and dealing with splits and, you know, things like that. I think that's a battle between the mind and the heart. Like, you know, your heart is telling you like, man, I really want to do this. This is something that I'm really passionate about. And then your mind is like, logistically, financially, does this work out for us? So I think just finding like that medium between the head and the heart is really like where you really jump in. If your head's saying, okay, logistically, financially, okay, this works out, and your heart's saying, okay, and you're also really passionate about this, and you guys kind of like find that middle ground, that's when you dive in. If your heart's telling you to jump on this, it doesn't matter the financials, you feel like you're gonna progress later on because of this opportunity, go ahead, dive in. If you feel like financially this isn't going to do anything for your career and you're waiting for that right moment and your mind's telling you that, do that. If you feel like it works out, that you feel like this is a move that you need to make for the progression for yourself to the next level and this is a dope opportunity and financially it kind of works out, go ahead. Like, I feel like you really just have to find that middle ground and you should never sell yourself short. I feel like us in this industry, when you're in the beginning stages, you definitely sell yourself short because you want to make a name. If you sell yourself short to work for a certain name in the beginning, that's completely okay. But after that, I feel like you're well established in your business. Your head and your heart need to find that middle ground. The way you're presented off stage matters more than who you are on stage. The way that you're represented off stage and how you look and how you hold yourself as a person matters way more than being on stage and playing. Because if you're going on a tour, they want to know what kind of person you are. Like, how's their hygiene? Are they like, you know, not ego driven? Are they cool? All of these factors hold weight more than being a killing musician on stage. If you're an okay or cool musician on stage, but a great person, you can build a lot more relationships that way. Basically, my dad calls it party with a purpose. And basically, going out to these things, like if I'm off stage, I'm going out to the next thing to kind of, you know, chop it up with people. You can secure your another gig off stage by just being a cool person, having food or grabbing lunch with somebody and just, you know, building a rapport, building a friendship with somebody. And then when it's tour time, people will look at you and be like, oh yeah, I remember meeting that person from that thing. I'ma hire them. Just off rip. I haven't even heard how they play, but I just know based on how the reputation is going on around the world, I know that person is cool. I'ma hire that person. Practice, 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 practice. You can never have too much practice. When they say put in your 10,000 hours to be a master, that's what you have to do. So just constantly practice. Second is always show up on time. Try to be the first one in the building. Try to be the last one out the building. And that goes a very long way because people will see what you're doing and they'll try to get on your level in the situation of just punctuality, just being like, man, this person really is on point. Communication skills is very key. Being able to communicate with an artist or communicate with the band around you goes a very long way and makes the show way more seamless. Rehearse, show up on time, communicate. Those are 3 things.
That was wonderful.
That was
wonderful. Shout out.
awesome.
And we got to shout out Cam the cameraman because he's the one who produced that video. So everybody, please give
My
a
God, that was
virtual round of applause to Cam the cameraman.
Thanks for helping us out with that.
Yes, we love that. We love that. So we want to ask if there's any kids here who have any questions for our panelists.
Yeah.
Because your questions matter. So we want to you know, if you have any questions, please raise your
Well, why
hand.
don't we start with Terri, because she's she only has a couple more minutes
Yes.
with us. So if anyone has questions specifically for Terri J. Vaughn, please raise your hand,
Put it in the chat.
and you got her to yourself right now.
Yes, yes. And you know, understand this.
Right.
What we're
They better
doing-
ask questions.
Yes, yes. Well, now you got to ask questions, but at the same time, you know, if you don't have anything now, we will make our email available to you, so you can email your questions if you want to do that privately. And you know, it's all about, you know, just asking. There's no such thing as a quote unquote bad question.
Right.
You know, all these questions come from your heart.
There we go.
We have one young man here, Leon Wu.
Is that-
Go ahead. Yeah.
How do I have more charisma? How do I have greater presence? People can sense that I'm there, and they can understand, and they memorize what I say, so it's more of use, and they're inspired by it. Yeah, so thus it would support like my goal.
So I would say if you talk about something that you're passionate about, something that you love, something that matters to you, I bet you come alive when you talk about what do you love? Leon, what do you love?
I love it's a lot.
What makes you happy? What makes you happy when you're doing it?
People.
People make you happy?
Yeah.
What about people make you happy?
They got a lot of information.
People have a lot of information?
Yeah.
Okay.
And
So what
and
do
can have,
you
like,
Mhm. Go ahead, hon.
you can have like you have like an infinite appetite.
You said
Infinite
people-
appetite for information.
you have an
You just
infinite.
recharge your appetite via sleeping. And then you wake up and you get your appetite for information.
So what do you want? What do you like information about? Like, do you like, what do you do in your free time? What do you love to do in your free time? Do you play video games? Do you draw? Do you sing? Do you write?
Free time, I look at like a program, how to read faster, because I want to read faster. I kind of struggle with reading, and I draw, and then of course I read
Mhm.
like fiction. Like right now I'm reading Tom Sawyer, because
Okay.
they're like heavy info books are kind of difficult so far.
So I love that about you. So what I'm loving about having this conversation with you is that you're being so open about who you are and what you do. And I think as long as you're coming from a place when you're talking to people and you talk to them about what matters to you, you talk to them about how you love people because you love to engage with people, that you talk to people because you love to share your love of reading and what you love to read or whatever kind of pictures that you love to draw. As long as you're talking about something that matters to you, you'll come alive because you'll have something to say. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, but I also have one last thing to add. Sorry, other people have questions or no. Like,
Yeah.
what are more ways that I could make other people feel important? Because I know that's key.
The way you're looking at me right now, you're making me feel very important.
Okay.
I think that you have a lot of power. That smile that you're giving me right there and your eyes being fixated on this, and this is through a Zoom. I can't imagine if I was in the room with you, what I would be feeling from you. So trust that you already have it, honey. You already have it. You're doing everything you just said you wanted to do. You're doing it right now in this moment. Do you realize that?
All right.
Yeah. So thank you. Thank you for engaging with me. Thank you for that smile. Thank you for giving me your eyes. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you for that question too.
That's a wonderful question,
Yeah.
Leon. Thank you. Thank you.
I love Leon.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Come on, man. I love you.
So if anyone else has,
Night.
if anyone else has questions, they can email us and we can get those over to Terri.
Yes.
Terri, we know you have to go. We appreciate all of your time. We
Thank you,
appreciate
guys.
your talent.
Yes.
We have your back. We support you, and we're proud of you.
I'm really excited about this partnership. So
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to doing a lot more. Yeah, it's 10:30 at night here. I'm gonna go check on these kitties one more time.
Yes, you do.
Thank you, Terri.
All right. Thank you,
Bye,
Terri.
you guys. It was so nice to meet you guys. Cynthia, thank you for sharing. Charnise, thank you for sharing. And thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye,
Thank
Terri.
you.
Good night, guys. Thanks, Cameron. Cam.
Appreciate you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye,
Yeah.
guys.
So does anyone else have any more questions for our panelists? We still have Cynthia here. We have Cam, the cameraman, and of course, Charnise. If you guys have any questions, please feel free. Don't be scared.
And you don't have to be a student to ask questions.
Yes,
So,
you don't have to be a student.
if you have questions for anyone on the panel or anyone in the room, please, now is the time.
Yes, yes.
Oh, we have a question.
All
There we
right.
go.
Jalen.
Jalen has a question, and
Yep, Jalen, go ahead and unmute your phone and ask your question.
my awesome.
My question is like, how do you get rid of that doubt that you can't accomplish your goal? Like, how do you gain more self-confidence?
All right.
Was that how do you gain more self-confidence?
Yeah.
Okay. Is there anyone who would like to answer that question for Jalen?
Yeah.
Charnise?
Yeah. How you gain self-confidence is by doing the thing that you love, even though you're afraid. You don't gain confidence by looking at it or wishing that you could do it. Once you do the thing that you want to do and you're like, you see yourself being successful at it, then you start to build your confidence like, okay, I can do this. You know, I'm good at it. And then you start to do it over and over, and you're practicing whatever that thing is. And the next thing you know, it becomes second nature. So that's how you build your confidence in anything that you do. But you have to do it afraid first, because nobody's going to take that away from you. Like, we can't, I wish people could take my fear away, but to build confidence, I have to do it myself.
Love that.
Love it.
Thank you, Charnise. I think we had another question.
Oh, I was gonna
Go ahead,
if it's
Cam.
okay to add to that. As someone who is something that I've experienced a lot growing up, it's something that I still kind of deal with like self-doubt, like lacking confidence in either what you're doing or yourself. And one of the best things you can do is you have to put blinders up to like everything else kind of going on in the moment when you're having that emotion, when you're having that experience, when you're like, I don't know if I could do this, I don't know if I could accomplish this. You have to kind of blind yourself to the social media and to what your friends may say or what your family may say. You have to trust in yourself. You know, you have to be your biggest cheerleader, and you know, you have to believe that you can accomplish anything that you set your mind to. I think sometimes when we have things, you know, like our TV or like our games, like social media, all these things that I personally love, but they do kind of take away your confidence sometimes because you're comparing yourself to other people. If you're an artist, not even an artist, but if you just work on anything, you know, anything really now with social media and how everything's being shared, you can compare the stuff you work on to how other people do things. And honestly, what makes what you do or who you are great is the fact that you are you, and no one else can take that away from you. No one on social media can take that away from you. No movie or TV show or music you listen to can take that away from you. It all comes from trusting yourself. So whenever you have those moments where you're feeling down or you're feeling like you don't have the confidence that you need, just remind yourself that you trust yourself and just put your blinders up to everything else that's going on and focus on being a cheerleader for yourself.
Right.
Thank
Cynthia,
you.
thank you. Cynthia, did you want to add to that?
Sure. Just really quickly, don't never be afraid to turn the noise down. And that's social media. We are always so engaged and so connected at all times. Sometimes it's all right to sit down and just be quiet and think about how great you are as a person and all of the things that you have already accomplished.
Yeah.
Again, I echo what everyone said before me. You're going to be afraid. That's a normal, natural human reaction. And you're going to have enough reps of this throughout your life to where that it's going to become easier and easier. But never be afraid to step away from the social media beast, because it's a lot of stuff going on in the world. And it's very easy to always find yourself inadvertently comparing yourself to what others are doing. Don't worry about them in their life. You worry about yourself and
Right.
be happy with yourself. And
Right.
be comfortable in yourself to be able to keep moving forward because you are doing great things for yourself.
That's
Yes,
right.
thank
That's
you.
right.
So we're close to closing, but before we do that, I wanted to ask Rosalind, she's with Take Wings Foundation, if there was anything that you wanted to add to the conversation.
Thank you. I think I can just co-sign the showing up for yourself. That really resonated with me. And then just being courageous, and also being a parent of a young person who is kind of, wobbly on the trail that we have, that we thought we identified together, and, learning to give her that space to explore and have the confidence in the things that I've instilled in her. It's really about being courageous, showing up to forums like this, asking the questions, and seeking mentorship and things like that. Those are all the things that I would encourage the young people online to take advantage of.
Yes, thank you, Rosalind.
Thank you so much, Rosalind. Thank you. And, thank you for everybody who's joined us today. And, it's all about the kids. And a lot of times we don't take the time out to ask, what do you want to do with your life? What is your passion? And even if they don't know, the fact that you're even asking means a lot to them. So even with your friends, the kids that are on, ask your friends, so what do you want to do? Because you never know, you guys might want to do the same exact thing. And that's when your team building skills start to happen. And that's where you can say, hey, I want to be a director, you want to be an actor, so why don't you act in my film?
Let's make a movie.
Or I make beats and your friend raps, okay, well, let's make a song. You have to open your mouth even to your friends, because you never know. Because if I never would have said, hey, I want to be in radio, I never would have been in the position I'm in now. And the same, I can speak only so much for her, but the same thing for you is right.
Right, in entertainment?
Yes.
Yeah.
No, someone.
I took a major leap of faith when I got into the entertainment industry. Trust and believe.
Right. But we all have mentors. We all have folks who that don't even know that there are mentors. So you never know who's watching. So always put your best foot forward. Try to, because you never know who's watching. So thank you for watching us. Thank you for watching our panelists. We want to say thank you to Cam, the cameraman. Cynthia, you're awesome. And Charnise, you are awesome. And we want to thank Take Wings for this wonderful partnership. And you know what? We want to thank you, Ames.
Thank you,
Ames, for being awesome, and everybody else who's involved with Ames. But we want to thank the folks who joined us just because we put it out there on social media. And that's the positive thing about social media. It's free advertising. We want to thank you guys so much. And hey, we're going to do this again. It's just part 1. Part 2 is coming. But don't forget to email us, alltieduppr@gmail.com. You can also talk to your Ames administrators as well for emails. But
or us.
We'll
be there.
We'll be there. But also, too, if you want to email any one of our panelists, please ask us. We'll go ahead and make sure we get you their information. But at this time, we're gonna say, hey, out, because we got a Warriors game to watch.
Oh.
While you're playing.
Just really quickly a plug.
Yeah.
If anyone online is interested in Take Wings as well, if you want to message us via Facebook, we do have a Facebook profile as well.
Yes.
But,
all right. So we're gonna have a closing video, just 3 minutes. It's from someone that I feel is my mentor and someone I look up to. We're gonna end it off with my man Sway Calloway.
Yo, what's up, everybody at All Tied Up? First and foremost, I want to say, being from Oakland, I'm proud of each and every one of you that are participating and All Tied Up in this organization. Armand and everybody involved, you're doing a great job. I'm Sway in the morning, Sway Calloway, 23rd Ave, East Oakland, went to Oakland High, Bret Hart Junior High, Manzanita. I'm from the same place all of you are from. I want to let you know, too, that I'm really proud of you. The fact that you're even in this conversation means that you want to grow and evolve and you want the best for you, your family, your community. And I'm here to tell you that anything you want to do can be accomplished. I know it's hard times right now, but keep your faith. Keep your faith. Keep your faith in yourself and believe in yourself. You don't have to be down because the times are difficult. Look at these times as a challenge. It's a challenge to see how you're going to navigate through it and come out of it. Make sure you're always your best you. Are you looking your best? You popping your collar? Is your hygiene on point? Make sure you smell good, you look good. Make sure you present yourself to the world in a way that you want the world to see you. You got so much in your future right now. Get started now when it comes to financial literacy. Learn about money. Look it up. Google it. Ask your elders. Ask people around you that work in money. Interview people that work at banks. Learn how you can use money to help build your life, your family's life, and your community's life. Learn how to save. Learn through education, not just the education at school, but look up subjects and topics that you feel like you're interested in. You might want to pursue later in life. You could look that up on your own. You could Google a lot of stuff, but check your resources. Don't just check one resource. Dig deeper than that. Make sure you read. Reading is going to exercise your mind and help you think faster and help you be sharper. You want to be that. You want to have an edge when you go out in the world. And all of these things will help make you an even more well-rounded person. And when you feel good, you look good, you speaking good, you smell good, then it's all good. So I just want to tell you, everything's possible, all of you. I'm from Oakland. I'm from where you from. I live in New York. I traveled the world. I sat down with presidents. I've done well investing money, saving money, and making sure I'm not putting myself in situations or environments that's going to hold me down or hold me back. I wanted to make this video for you guys. I couldn't be there in Oakland because of everything that's going on, but I want to say I love you. Stay smart. Look at Jay Walt as an example. He's a teenager and he's already living his dream. Shout out to Jay Walt, Armand, everybody at All Tied Up. Sway Calloway. Y'all follow me at Real Sway. You send me a message, I'll hit you back. Peace. Y'all be great. Be the best you can.
All right, you guys. With that, we're out. Have a good one. Go Warriors.
Bye.
Bye.